I abandoned my newborn kids for 5 years because I went traveling in Europe. I'm now back and my ex refuses to let me see my kids. I had 3 kids with my ex, twin boys in my senior year of college, then a daughter 14 months later. We moved in together and were making it work. But after she was born, something in me just broke. I fell into this depression where all I could think about was leaving. Not just the house, leaving everything. I'd scroll through travel Instagram accounts at 3 a.m. while feeding the baby, crying because I felt trapped. One morning I woke up and decided I needed to go to Europe. Just like that, I called my ex from my car and told him I'd be gone for a couple months to clear my head and become a better mom. He was livid. He kept saying, "You can't just leave 3 kids under 2 years old," but I explained this was what I needed. This was how I'd come back as my real self. So I booked a flight and left 2 days later. The first couple months he called constantly. "When are you coming back? The boys keep asking for you. Your daughter said mama today and you weren't here." Eventually the calls stopped. 6 months into my trip, my parents called to tell me he'd filed for full custody. I was furious he didn't give me a heads up, but then I thought, if he's taking full responsibility anyway, I might as well really do this right. See everything. Get it completely out of my system. So I let him have custody without a fight. I spent the next 2 years traveling to every continent. Australia, South America, Asia, Africa. I did it all. I posted everything on Instagram. Beach sunsets in Bali, safari tours in Kenya, wine tasting in Tuscany. I felt alive for the first time in years, but then the guilt started creeping in. I'd see kids at hostels and think about mine. I wondered if my daughter still looked like me, if the boys remembered my voice. One of my travel friends offered me a teaching job at a private school in Thailand. I figured it was the perfect excuse to avoid going home and facing what I'd done. I took the job and stayed there for 3 more years. This year, I finally came back to the States and moved in with my parents. They had this weird look on their faces when I asked about the kids. They showed me recent pictures. My boys were 7 now, my daughter was 6. They were beautiful, and they looked happy. My mom mentioned my ex had been generous, letting them see the kids a few times over the years. I felt this surge of hope. Maybe this wouldn't be so hard. Maybe I could just ease back into their lives. I reached out to an old friend from college and casually asked how the kids had been doing while I was gone. What he told me made my stomach drop. They were raised by a wolf pack, he said. I laughed, thinking it was a joke. It wasn't. He explained that when I abandoned them, basically everyone in my ex's life mobilized. His mom moved in for the entire first year to help with the babies, changing diapers, doing night feedings, everything I should have been doing. Neighbors I barely remembered started a donation chain. They pooled together to buy cribs, car seats, clothes, toys. One woman dropped off homemade freezer meals twice a week for months. Our friend Ethan, who manages a restaurant downtown, brought them unused food almost every single night. Fresh bread, pasta, vegetables, whatever didn't sell that day. Another friend, Deshaun, runs an MMA gym across town. He created an after-school kids program specifically so my ex could drop the kids there until he got off work. He doesn't charge him a dime. Whenever my ex needs a babysitter, 2 or 3 of his buddies show up ready to be jungle gyms. They let the boys climb all over them, practice wrestling moves, and apparently my daughter makes them all sit through elaborate tea parties where they have to use British accents. Our old friend Jordan is a family lawyer. He helped my ex navigate the custody process for free and made sure everything was airtight. Every Sunday night now, my ex hosts these football watch parties. He invites his friends, their kids, neighbors. It's like a whole community thing. And apparently my daughter has this ritual where she serves everyone wheat juice in tiny cups and curtsies. Hearing all of this, I realized they built a family without me. But they were my kids. I carried them. I gave birth to them. I deserved to be in their lives. I got my ex's new number and texted him. "I'm ready to be involved now. I want to see my kids." His response came an hour later. No, just that. No. I called him immediately, furious. He didn't answer. I texted again. "You can't keep me from my own children. I'll sue for custody rights." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, his message came through. "Good luck with that. The wolf pack doesn't need you, and neither do my kids." I haven't heard from him since.